Hey everybody, I'm Jonathan Warren, and this is the Reading Jacobin podcast.
We are the true living, and we must win.
This is the very first episode of the Reading Jacobin podcast, so I think it's important to lay out what the basics of this podcast is about.
We want to speak to you this evening about revolution.
The Reading Jacobin podcast mission is to create a space dedicated to the study of revolution and revolutionary thought and practice. In other words, this podcast is a dynamic journey toward revolutionary consciousness. We will accomplish this through the study of Black and dissident histories, counter-histories, philosophies, theories, and thought, as well as interviews and other mediums.
Let it be properly understood that when we talk of revolution, of course, we mean bloodshed.
So what is my framework? Overall, I would say that I'm a Kwame Toureist. Kwame Ture, born Stokely Carmichael in the port of Spain in Trinidad and Tobago, moved to Harlem, New York at the age of 11 and became active in the fight for justice in high school. As a college student at Howard, he remained active, and as a member of SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, he went to the Deep South to help in the Civil Rights Movement. From there, he went on to be one of the most influential and effective Black power and liberation thought leaders. Now, as a self-avowed Kwame Tourist, there are a few tenets to which I must adhere. One of them being, and one that is extremely important, is to be class conscious and to be able to use a class conscious lens. In Stokely Speaks, a collection of speeches by Kwame Ture, then known by his birth name, in 1966, he speaks about the three ways to make it in America: having money, knowing the right people, and by education. He explains that most Black people in America do not have the first two ways of making it at our disposal, so we overcompensate with education. So, if one is able to acquire the proper amount of education to make it in America, after fighting for access, the jobs available, according to Ture, are mainly the jobs on Madison Avenue or Wall Street. And the housing available through these jobs are as far away from the masses of the Black people that the class stratification is clear and seemingly natural. He goes on to say that possessing the three ways of making it in America makes one quote-unquote qualified, and Ture is expressly opposed to this idea. He believes in the masses as the vehicle for radical change. Improvements in society, according to Ture, have only resulted when pressure was applied, and that pressure comes from below, from the people. Even more, when Ture was defining Black power, he points to two basic reasons for the plaguing of Black people. One, we are poor. Two, we are Black. And I think it's important to note that his first reason is a class reason, and every other problem we face, says Ture, stems from these two reasons. Next, I would say that I'm a historical materialist, or I'm into the way that the world actually is. We will continue to build on this concept through the works of those like Walter Rodney and Michael Parenti, and also through more contemporary thought from the works of those like Sharice Burton-Stelly and Gabriel Rockhill. Even more, we will work toward an understanding of the construction of the world. This means we will traverse the writings of greats like Sylvia Wynter, Dr. Tommy Curry, the giant W.E.B. Du Bois, C.L.R. James, and many more.
I want my liberation more than I want anything else. I want my people to be free, and I want humanity to go forward more than I want my very life.
I called this podcast The Reading Jacobin as an homage to the Black Jacobins, a similar work about the Haitian Revolution by C.L.R. James. As such, we will work to develop a true understanding of the definition of revolution. This means we will do our best to learn what it takes and how to create the conditions for a successful revolution, with the intention to inject the specific issues of Galveston Island into the analysis.